All right, continuing on talking about the special features from this Colin Baker Season 2, The Trial of a Time Lord season. Talking about the special features for the Mysterious Planet, the first story in the Trial of a Time Lord season, and also special features for just Doctor Who at this time in the show, and about Colin Baker specifically. Okay. There is a special feature called Tomorrow's World, and they show an object. Oh, this is kind of like a game show. Okay, so on this, they show an object, and people give different explanations for the purpose of the object, and the audience gets polled electronically on who is telling the truth. And also, they have okay, so there's this panel. All right, Colin Baker, and two other people are on a panel that also guess on who's telling the truth for the purpose of this object. Okay, the audience is competing with the panel for points when they correctly guess the object's true function. So that's what that was. That was okay. It was weird. I've never seen a game show like this before. And then, okay, then also there is a special feature. It's just titled French and Saunders. Okay, French and Saunders. These gals. I have a few of these specials. I guess you'd call them that. Or it's I think I'm not sure if they had like just specials, French and Saunders, or if they had an actual show. But I have a few of these DVDs, French and Saunders DVDs, and this is one of them. So that's Dawn French and Jennifer Saunders. It's a comedy show. They are comedians. They're funny. But I found out about them when I found out about the show Absolutely Fabulous, which I really enjoyed because it was so weird. I'd never seen anything like that before. Very weird, funny show. It's with Jennifer Saunders is the main character in Absolutely Fabulous, which I recommend. And Joanna Lumley is in it, and Dawn French. So I think on Absolutely Fabulous, Dawn French. It's written by Dawn French and Jennifer Saunders. Okay, so that's the connection there. All right. All right, so that's what they are. Okay, that's who they are. So there's a special feature, which is a segment from by French and Saunders. So it's a Doctor Who themed skit in a courtroom conducted by someone wearing a Time Lord costume called the Questioner. So kind of like the Inquisitor in the Trial of a Time Lord. Okay, so Dawn French and Jennifer Saunders, they play Silurians. Actually, they play actors that are in Silurian costumes. I think they take off their Silurian heads during this skit a few times. Okay. So the comedy of the skit involves the crew and actors as they take breaks for, there's a technical difficulty and there's mistakes and interruptions by Dawn French and Jennifer Saunders. The frustrated director in this skit, they tell them all Silurians can go on a tea break because he's had enough of their interruptions, Dawn French and Jennifer Saunders. So he says all Silurians can go on a tea break. It's funny because Dawn French and Jennifer Saunders, they are the only actors in Silurian costumes. They go for their tea break, and so does the questioner, because she thinks she's a Silurian, which was weird. The director tells her that she's a Draconian. So I thought this was strange because she looks like a Time Lord. So it didn't make sense that the director tells her that she's a Draconian. I've seen the Draconians. They're in a I don't remember the name of the story, but they're in the Draconians are in a John Pertwee when he was the Doctor. One of those during that time in Doctor Who. John Pertwee, I believe, said that he thought the Draconians were the best creature in Doctor Who. Yeah, they were his favorite. Okay, so I'm not sure why the director tells the questioner that she's a Draconian because she's dressed as a Time Lord, and she looks nothing like a Draconian. The Draconians don't look like human beings. The Time Lords do. So she looks like a Time Lord. She doesn't look like a Draconian. I think they said in the skit that there was something with a change in the script. Yeah, they had someone playing the Doctor in the skit, in this Doctor Who skit, this French and Saunders skit. He had a scarf that was a striped scarf, but it had different colors. It didn't look like Tom Baker's scarf. But he kind of looks similar to Tom Baker's Doctor. Okay. So there's another special feature called Trials and Tribulations. All right. And in this, it mentions Colin Baker's first appearance in Doctor Who was as Maxwell the Guard in the story Arc of Infinity during Peter Davison's time as the Doctor. So that's neat. After that appearance, the assistant floor manager on Doctor Who was getting married, and they invited Colin Baker to the wedding. John Nathan Turner, Doctor Who's producer, and other members of the crew also attended the wedding. John Nathan Turner was impressed with how entertaining Colin Baker was at the wedding and decided he would replace Peter Davison as the Doctor. He decided that Colin Baker would replace Peter Davison as the Doctor. Okay. It seems strange to cast someone as the Doctor that had already appeared as a different character previously on the show. But they would do this again on Doctor Who with Peter Capaldi, who originally appeared as a different character in the story The Fires of Pompeii during David Tennant's time as the Doctor. Okay, and then, all right, so here's another Colin Baker quote coming up. And this is, okay, so later after Doctor Who was taken off the air and brought back for the Trial of a Time Lord season. Okay. All right, so here's a Colin Baker quote. I got a call from John Nathan Turner saying, I've got some good news and some bad news. Not quite the way I'd have framed what he was about to tell me. The good news, he said, was that the series was coming back the following year. The bad news, however, was that he had been ordered by the powers that be to replace the Doctor. That was a body blow. That was. Okay, and then there's a quote from John Nathan Turner, the producer, and it says, okay, what the thinking behind it was, I don't know. The line I was told was, we think that 3 years is the optimum, and he's done his 3 years. And I said, well, no, he hasn't. He's done 2. One of them, we didn't make a series. No, but it still counts. It's 3 years. All right. Colin Baker was very disappointed because he wanted to break Tom Baker's record as the longest actor to play the Doctor. Okay, and then now there's another John Nathan Turner quote. It was the first time, as far as I knew, that an actor was ceasing to play the part at the behest of the 6th floor of the BBC. Okay. And also, there's a special feature on the Blu-ray collection. It's Bonnie Langford in conversation. Bonnie Langford played Mel later in the season. It's an hour-long interview with the actress to play Mel, the Doctor's companion that replaced Perry in the middle of the season. Okay. Then there's a special feature called The Lost Season. It talks about what the writers of Doctor Who were planning of doing for the show before it was taken off the air. They wanted to bring back the celestial toymaker who had previously appeared back in 1966 during William Hartnell's time as the Doctor. The celestial toymaker was played by Michael Gough, who played Alfred in the Tim Burton Batman movie. Another idea was to bring back the Autons, who were one of the Doctor Who monsters during John Pertwee's time as the Doctor, and to set the story in Singapore. They considered having the Master or the Ronnie in this story. And another story idea was to bring back the Ice Warriors, who were during one of the Doctor Who monsters during Patrick Troughton's time as the Doctor, and then they brought them to the new Doctor Who show later, the Ice Warriors. Okay, so then there's another special feature called the Writers' Room, and that is the writers of this season. The writers of the season that was the season that was taken off the air and during the middle of Colin Baker's time as the Doctor. They discussed their contribution that year. And another special feature is called Tomorrow's Times. And the title of this feature is a reference to dialogue between Patrick Troughton and Nicholas Courtney, who was, he played he was the Brigadier, Nicholas Courtney. So this is taken from dialogue between the Doctor and the Brigadier. It's from the Five Doctors, Tomorrow's Times. Okay. So this feature is the introduction to this feature. The introduction to this feature is narrated by Nicholas Courtney, who was the Brigadier. Okay, so this special feature, it discusses how the media portrayed Doctor Who and Sarah Sutton, who played Nyssa, one of the Doctor's companions, when the Doctor was Tom Baker, and then Peter Davison. Okay, so Sarah Sutton plays the role of news anchor during this special feature. Okay, and then there is a special feature called Stripped for Action, and that talks about Doctor Who comics, specifically involving Colin Baker's Doctor. There's another special feature called Coming Soon, and that is it's a trailer for Time in the Rani, which was Sylvester McCoy's first story as the Doctor. Okay. I'm almost done here. Well, I can make this video really long and finish it, so I don't have to do it tomorrow. And okay, I'll just say it quickly here. Okay, so I got some stuff off of Wikipedia. Okay. All right. So, Colin Baker was removed from the part of the Doctor after starring in only 11 stories and just short of 3 years in the series, including the hiatus, making his tenure as the Doctor the shortest at that point. Okay. After his sacking, Colin Baker was offered a single 4-part story that would end in his character's death, not really a death though, and subsequent regeneration. That's why it's not really a death. But the death of his time on the show. But Colin Baker refused the offer. Colin Baker offered to do the entirety of the following season and regenerate at its conclusion, but the BBC never responded to his letter. Instead, his replacement, Sylvester McCoy, played the injured 6th Doctor in a blonde wig as he regenerates in the opening minutes of Time in the Rani, his face hidden by video effects as the regeneration process occurs. In an interview in 2019, Colin Baker expressed regret for not returning for the scene, stating that he was brutally selfish at the time and that he was not thinking about the fans. And, okay. Before deciding on Sylvester McCoy, Patrick Troughton was considered to return to the role of the Doctor. Which would have been weird. Okay, so the reason why I'm bringing that up is because I found out recently when I was looking up stuff for something to use for a David Tennant short video. I found out that David Tennant is returning to play the Doctor. I was very irritated to find this out because I know they had considered it previously by bringing back Patrick Troughton to play. They wanted to bring back Patrick Troughton as the Doctor again, which just seemed weird because he was already the Doctor in the past. It's okay to bring him back as his version of the Doctor, but to have him regenerate back into an older version doesn't make sense to me. I suppose with science fiction, it's okay because it's science fiction, and many things can happen in science fiction. You can have ways of explaining why it happens, but I have mixed feelings about this having David Tennant coming back to play the Doctor again. I suppose if you're a fan of David Tennant, you should be excited that, oh, he's coming back to play the Doctor again. But it just messes with the whole uh, what's the word, canon, the canon of the Doctor, of the show Doctor Who. It messes with it because each actor has, when they refer to them, they're like the fourth Doctor, by number, and so now the David Tennant will be what is he? Oh, 10. David Tennant will be the 10th Doctor, and he'll also be the whatever number Doctor. It just messes with the whole show, the whole history, the whole the whole show. It just messes with it. I don't really care for that. It messes with the way the show is structured. But I don't know. Maybe I will whenever I haven't watched any of the new Doctor Who in a long time. So maybe when I watch that, maybe it'll be okay. Maybe I'll think, oh well, all right. I guess that was entertaining. But it just seems like what are you doing? Why are you bringing back someone who played the Doctor before? Like I like when they bring them back as their version of the Doctor, like when they have the specials, when they have the like what they did in the past with the five Doctors and the three Doctors and the two Doctors. I like that because they're bringing back that persona of their time in the show. But when they have him regenerate into the same version of the Doctor, it I don't really care for that. It just feels like what are you doing? Why don't you it's because it's taking time from it why not give someone else a chance, another actor a chance to play the Doctor? You're taking time away from someone else's opportunity to play the Doctor. So it's like that. Like before, I was irritated about having with David Tennant again. Why is David Tennant regenerating back into Dave? He's not back into. He's still David Tennant. It's what? How is that a regeneration? He's still David Tennant. You're supposed to when Doctor Who you're supposed to regenerate. The Doctor is supposed to regenerate into someone else, not regenerate. Oh, and he's still David Tennant. What? So more irritation with the writing involving David Tennant, but also when I was looking up uh, that I also found out that they were bringing back the characters played well Tegan. I assume it's the actual characters, but I saw that Janet Fielding is going to be coming back. Yeah, I think I heard she's coming back to play Tegan in one of the specials, um, Doctor Who in the new show, and also Sophie Aldred bringing back playing Ace apparently. So that I like that bringing back old characters from the classic time Doctor Who. Okay, so that's it. Very long video. I just wanted to finish that up because I only had a little bit. So that's it. That's it. That's all I was going to say about Colin Baker's time in Doctor Who with the Mysterious Planet and the Trial of the Time Lord season. Okay, that's it for Colin Baker and Doctor Who. Whew.